One woman, one live microphone, one very detailed morning routine.
Okay, so technically I did this, but honestly, who checks if a mic is live?
I told 400 strangers I didn't brush my teeth properly. 400.
Inspired by the kind of story you'd find on Reddit. Today we bring you an account of one woman, one very long airport delay, and one catastrophic misunderstanding involving a microphone. Welcome to English Through Stories. I'm Oliver.
I'm Jake, and I just want to say up front, this is 100% my fault. Like completely, totally, no question about it, my fault.
I described my entire morning routine, every last bit of it, to roughly 400 strangers in Terminal 3, on a TANNOY, A-T-A-N-N-O-Y, Jake.
Let us set the scene. It is 6:15 in the morning. Our travelers, Sophie, Jake, and a small army of fellow passengers are stranded at a mid-sized regional airport due to a 3-hour delay. The kind of delay that strips a person of all dignity and most of their will to live.
Okay, so honestly, I'd been awake since like 3 a.m. because I literally cannot stick to a normal sleep schedule when I'm traveling. My whole daily routine just collapses. Like at home, I wake up, I get up at the same time every single day, I have my coffee, I have my breakfast, boom, routine sorted. On travel days, chaos, pure chaos.
Jake's daily routine at home is actually dead good, right? He's told me about it, proper, structured, but at airports he just turns feral.
Feral is a strong word. I prefer creatively unstructured.
Regardless of the label, Jake had spent the previous 40 minutes wandering the departure lounge in search of something, anything, to occupy himself. He had already eaten a breakfast sandwich, attempted a crossword, and abandoned said crossword after 2 clues. It was during this wandering that he made his discovery.
So I find this little service desk, yeah? Like an unmanned, nobody's there information desk. And there's a microphone sitting on the counter, one of those classic announcement microphones. And I genuinely thought it was switched off. The little red light wasn't on. Or, okay, maybe I didn't check carefully enough.
He did not check at all.
I did a check. It was a brief check.
Meanwhile, Sophie had found herself a quiet corner near Gate 14, had laid her cardigan over a row of seats to reserve them, as one does, and was in the middle of a phone call. She was telling her mother, in considerable detail, about her morning.
Because my mam worries, right? She always wants to know what time I got up, whether I had a proper breakfast, whether I set my alarm the night before. She's obsessed with my morning routine. So I'm just filling her in, completely normal conversation.
And here's where it gets. Okay, so I'd picked up the microphone, right? Just to feel the weight of it like you do.
Like you do. Nobody does that, Jake. Nobody just picks up an airport microphone to feel the weight of it.
I was curious, and then I see Sophie across the lounge on her phone, and I think, oh, I'll call over to her, get her attention, maybe we can go get another coffee. And I just leaned into the mic and went, Sophie. Hey, Sophie, what are you up to?
What Jake did not know, what neither of them knew, was that the microphone was very much active, connected to the full terminal-wide TAN system, and broadcasting at considerable volume to every gate, every cafe, every toilet corridor, and every exhausted soul in Terminal 3.
I heard my name, loud, coming from the ceiling, and I thought that's strange, and I looked up, and then I heard Jake's voice again going, Sophie, tell me what you're doing. And I didn't realize, I just thought he was being daft somewhere nearby. So I answered, into my phone, which apparently Jake had also somehow explained that bit.
Okay, so this is the bonus disaster layer. I had accidentally called Sophie's number like 30 seconds before I found the microphone. So she thought she was talking to me on the phone. But actually, I'd already hung up my end and just left the call going on her side. So she's talking into her phone thinking I can hear her. But actually what was happening was her voice was coming through my end and into the microphone because
Jake, in a moment of technical inspiration that can only be described as catastrophic, had connected his phone audio through a small portable speaker he'd plugged into the desk's auxiliary port while fiddling with the equipment. Her voice fed back into the live system. The entire terminal could now hear both of them.
I said, and I remember this word for word because it is burned into my brain forever. I said, "Oh, I'm just on the phone to Ma'am Jake, telling her about my morning routine. You know I always do that, I always call her when I'm traveling." And then I just kept going.
She kept going.
I said live to 400 people. I woke up at 3:30 this morning, set my alarm for 3:30, which is dead early, obviously. I barely had time to get washed and dressed. And then I said, "Oh no," I said. "I didn't even get to brush my teeth properly, ma'am. I just did a quick rinse." 400 people now know I didn't brush my teeth properly.
For our learners, and this is relevant, Sophie's morning routine, now being broadcast across Terminal 3, was a masterclass in what linguists call the daily routine. A daily routine refers to the regular activities a person does every day, usually in the same order: wake up, get washed, get dressed, have breakfast. These are the building blocks of a routine. Sophie was sharing every single one of hers, publicly.
She mentioned, honestly, this is impressive in the worst way. She mentioned setting her alarm, waking up, getting washed, skipping breakfast, which she called grabbing a cereal bar on the run, getting dressed in the taxi.
I got dressed in the taxi. That's a normal thing. I had my clothes laid out the night before. I always lay my clothes out the night before. It's part of my routine. But I was running late, so I finished getting dressed in the cab. That's fine. That's efficient.
She also mentioned, and this is the one that really got the crowd going, she mentioned that she hadn't had time to do her skincare routine.
I said to my ma'am, "I didn't get to do my skincare routine this morning, which is gutting because I never skip it. I always cleanse and moisturize before I leave the house, every single morning without fail." And apparently, when I said that, there was a woman near gate 16 who started slow clapping.
Skincare routine, for those noting vocabulary, a routine is any set of activities done regularly in the same sequence. You can have a morning routine, a bedtime routine, an exercise routine. Sophie had, at this point, described approximately 4 of hers to the greater traveling public.
And the thing is, and this is what kills me, I'm still at the desk, right? I can hear everything she's saying through the TAN because it's echoing all around the terminal. And I'm starting to realize something is very wrong. People are looking up from their phones. A man near the coffee kiosk has literally put his cup down. A kid is pointing at the ceiling.
And I'm still just chatting away, because I think I'm on the phone to my ma'am. I said, "Brace yourself," I said. And Jake was supposed to meet me at the check-in desk at 4 a.m., but he can never stick to his morning routine, ma'am. He never sets his alarm properly. He's always running late.
400 people heard that. 400 people now have a negative opinion of my time management skills.
It's not negative if it's accurate, Jake.
At approximately 6:27 a.m., a member of the airport ground staff, returning from what one imagines was a desperately needed tea break, arrived at the unmanned information desk, observed Jake standing there holding the live microphone with the expression of a man watching his own house burn down, and calmly switched the system off.
She looked at me and she just went dead calm. "Were you aware this was live?" And I said, "I am aware now." And she nodded like this happened every Tuesday.
And I'm still on the phone. I'm still talking. I then said, because my ma'am asked, "Oh, and I had a cereal bar for breakfast, ma'am. I need to get into a better habit. I always mean to have a proper sit-down breakfast, but I never leave enough time." And then I heard from across the terminal, I heard laughter, genuine laughter, from multiple directions.
Sophie looked up. She saw the information desk. She saw Jake. She saw the airport employee standing next to Jake. She saw approximately 40 people within her eyeline either laughing, covering their mouths, or filming on their phones.
I said to my ma'am, and these were my last words before I died, I said, "Ma'am, I'll have to call you back." And then I just stood there, holding my phone, while a man near Pret a Manger gave me a thumbs up.
In my defense,
There is no defense, Jake.
In my defense, multiple people came up to Sophie afterwards and said they really related to the not brushing teeth thing and the getting dressed in the taxi thing. So in a way, she made real human connections that morning. She created community.
A woman told me she also skips her skincare routine when she travels and that she felt seen, which was, honestly, despite everything, that was dead touching. I nearly cried.
Let us take a moment to revisit our vocabulary, because nothing cements a word in your memory like a deeply humiliating context. A daily routine Sophie's was broadcast live. Setting your alarm, something Jake apparently struggles with. Getting washed, getting dressed, skipping breakfast, grabbing something on the run. These are all standard parts of a morning routine. A bedtime routine might include laying out your clothes, as Sophie wisely did, and a skincare routine. All routines. All now public knowledge in Terminal 3.
I did apologize, like genuinely properly apologized. I bought Sophie a coffee and a proper sit-down breakfast, which, as she mentioned, she never normally gets time for, and we sat at gate 14 for the remaining 2 hours of the delay, and honestly it was kind of a lovely morning after that.
It was a lovely morning. The breakfast was dead good. A full English at 6:30 a.m., which is not part of my normal routine, but maybe it should be. And the woman from Pret came over and joined us eventually, the one who felt seen about the skincare thing. Her name was, well, we'll call her Lovely.
When their flight was finally called, Sophie walked through gate 14 to a small but genuine round of applause from those who had been in the terminal long enough to have heard the broadcast. She took a bow. She had earned it.
She actually took a bow. I was so proud, like she fully committed.
If 400 people are going to know you didn't brush your teeth properly, you might as well own it. That's what I say, you might as well own it.
And that is where we leave today's story. Sophie, gracious in humiliation, bowing at gate 14 as the boarding call echoed through the same TANNOY that had, 45 minutes earlier, shared her entire morning routine with the world.
If that made you laugh or cringe, or both at the same time, drop us a like. It genuinely helps more people find the show.
And follow us so you never miss another story like this one. Trust me, there are plenty more where that came from.
Subscribe to English Through Stories, new episodes every week, and every one of them is a perfectly good reason to practice your English.
See you on the next one. Drop us a like.
Hit follow and never miss a story.
Subscribe to English Through Stories. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. See you on the next episode.